I follow you.
I knew I'm true.
Oye, te hablo desde la prisión. Wilson Manyoma. Borbona.
Hey.
And just like that, we're back. Masters of None, episode 244. I don't know, for whatever reason, 244, like the number 244 feels like it has like some significance. Maybe like subconsciously, I'm just not aware of it currently.
Nah, it could. It's like 444.
Yeah, it feels like
You know?
it feels like I'm like 2 steps away from 444. You know?
Yeah, we're like 2 steps away from a Hove album.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Yeah.
We got it, bro. We got it. But it's Master None Podcast, episode 244. And we got the home team tonight.
Yeah. Just us.
We got the home team.
Got the
it's your boy
boys.
Justin, the homie over here, Berto. And that's what we got. And no guests today, but we got a lot of guests coming up. A lot of guests. Shout out to the Derelicts for coming through. Shout out to Rabs for coming through. Check out his album.
Yes.
Matter of fact, Faith by Rabs, RABZ. That's on all platforms streaming live. And also check out the podcast by The Derelicts. So it's The Derelicts Podcast. And check out Dylan and Noah that are on there doing their thing. They were on here last episode. If you're curious about any of the conversations that took place, you could check out those 2 episodes. Rabs, we were live on Friday. And the Derelicts, we were live last Tuesday. So if you want to check out any of that content, please do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you never miss an episode when we go live or when we post a live video. And Berto, what's up, bro?
I'm chilling, man. Back-to-back guest episodes. Man, last episode was crazy. First things first, I'm still listening to the Rabs album. I think that I genuinely enjoy it.
Bro, I got to be honest with you, man. I really do. I like it. I think it's exactly what it needed to be. I was like, damn, I need some like chill music. Everything goes together. The songs will go well together. There's like kind of this build on the project. And we lose that in albums. Now I feel like people don't put out albums. People put out playlists.
Yeah.
You know, so they don't play the same. You know what I mean?
And last week's episode, like you said, Derelicts came on. What a high.
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. Pretty good. We got a lot of subs from that stream. We got a lot of engagement, and we just had a great time.
It was a real good time. We went on for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we went on for 2.5 hours, and it was the longest stream we've done in a while, especially with a guest. So I'm with it, man. I take it, and I had a good time. So they got some growth too from that, which is, you know, it's always good to help people that you believe in and help people that are trying to do the same thing as you are, you know, a common goal. It's like joining forces, and I think there's no reason not to do it.
Yeah.
And it was a great episode, dude. I just had fun. See, that's what it is. That's the slow growth of our channel, is that we do what's fun to us. You know, and a lot of people they make content for a specific crowd. We are doing what we enjoy to do, you know, and having on who we want.
Yeah, and they're not doing cheap stuff to get views.
Yeah, man.
Could never. But man, because we did back-to-back guest episodes, I feel like we've been out of the loop on a lot of the current events that are going on right now. We've been missing out. There's a lot of things going on. There's Tesla cars that people are throwing, you know, cow's blood on. The stock market's going down. There's tariffs in. It's, you know, not just our stock market either. The other people's stock market is down as well.
Yeah, no, it's kind of, there's a lot of stuff affecting the country right now. But the funny thing is, I'm trying not to be spooked.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah.
Because you know who's going to make all the money on this?
The people who already have all the money right now?
Yeah, it's the rich people, because we're all going to panic and everybody's going to be worried about the retirement. We're going to pull out our independent, you know, like our trader portfolios. We're going to sell. Don't panic. This is when rich people get richer. So this is when poor people could just get rich, or middle class people could just get rich. You know, richer get richer.
Yeah.
You know, but don't panic. If you have the investments and stuff, just be smart. Talk to somebody, because I am not at all a financial person that you should be listening to.
This is not financial advice.
Absolutely not. But I did speak to my financial person, and and I was worried. I was like, listen, I want to know what's up with my investments, with my mom's investments. I'm like, you know what? I need to know what's going on. And she said, turn off the TV.
Yeah.
That's what she told me.
Yeah. You know what? It's like,
No.
this has had to have.
And it's a she. Okay?
Wow.
I believe in equality.
I see you.
You know what I'm saying? It's my financial person is a she, and she's a killer out here.
Damn, silly me. I just assumed you were talking to his secretary. So it's funny because I feel like the expectation is like, well, people are going kind of crazy, but like, I feel like anybody who understands finances, which I don't, had to have seen this coming. Like, this was the expectation that it's gonna drop before it goes anywhere else, you know? And that could be, that could be what do they call it when it's like it's not a real drop, it's because of, like, you know, public opinion or things that are going on in the media right now. There's a word for it, I can't think of it.
Yeah, okay, just someone kind of skewing this, or you know, it's not a real representation, it's just everybody panics from someone saying something, like kind of that
Yeah.
rug pull type of deal.
Yeah, kind of like inflation, the way
Yes.
like, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, I'm just not trying to panic, you know, because I feel like broke people panic. You know what I mean?
When you look at when you look at social media and stuff like that, it's the people who own no stock complaining about the stock market.
Yeah, it's the brokest people ever, right? It's the brokest people. It's the you know,
It's so crazy. They own nothing and they're so concerned
Yeah.
about the stock market.
absolutely. So I'm trying not to. I'm gonna keep my money in, and the more it dips, the more I'm gonna buy. The more it dips, the more I'm buying, because I'm like, this is what rich people do.
Yeah, if you're liquid, right, and you have the cash,
Yeah.
and things go down and people believe that they're going to go back up, this is not financial advice, but, you know, I don't know.
Yeah,
Do the
I
math.
mean, every
Maybe.
time I see these people talking, it always goes up. There's not one guy that's like, it went down and it stayed down forever. You know, so I'm like,
Eventually it will.
it's gonna go up hopefully in my lifetime. Hopefully I live long enough to see it go up. I mean,
You know what I would like to know is how far up is up? And I guess with the stock market, the ceiling has to be higher. But when you look at the housing market, I feel like it's, you know, especially in New York, we're gonna get to a point where, like, nobody can afford to, like, who can afford to live here now? I seen somebody selling a house. It was a Cape. It was 800 square feet, and it was $590,000. It was over $500,000 for 800 square feet. And I'm not saying that that's small, but that's a lot of money for that size house.
it's insane. There's such a kind of a strange perspective on the value of things and what they really are worth. You know, people think that if they have a house at all, their baseline is 400,000.
Yeah, but, like, where's the ceiling there, right? Like, at what point is it going to be like, all right, this is the end. This is the tippy top. It seems like what once was thought to be the tippy top, like, man, one day, you know, this house will be worth $600,000. And now it's like, we're so far past that.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. And it's in the time span, it's been crazy too. Cause, you know, I moved from one place to another place, and I haven't even been in the other place that long. And I feel like I'm already like, oh, well, you know, things have even gone up since I gotten here, and it hasn't even been that long. So that the housing market particularly, that one is interesting to me. Like, I'd be curious to see, like, you know, if I could look into the future of what's going to happen. Is it just going to keep going up forever?
Well, I think the only way it can keep going up is if people keep buying. So the ceiling that you're talking about is in the hands of the buyers. If everyone just stops buying at these prices, they'll stop.
Yeah, but they're not. That can't happen.
But it eventually happens unless you have nothing but rich people migrating to a specific area. Eventually, it's got to top out. And people are like, okay, this isn't worth it. Like, I can't justify this. If I'm going to spend this much, I'll try to get a house by the water. You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be a ceiling that's created by the buyer, because that's ultimately who determines price.
I think that works, and that could possibly work in other states. I don't think in New York that's something that's going to work, because when you look at the current, like, scheme of the way, like, people are moving, what it looks like to me is that we're getting people from, you know, the city. We're getting people from further west, and the people are moving further east now. And there's more money out there. Like, they're not going to run out of money out there. Like, these guys, these places in Manhattan, like, they were already paying this much for an apartment. So for them to transition over here, it's like now it's like there's even more money coming on to the island. That's my perception, at least. I don't know if that's the truth. And I feel like they'll be able to continue to afford those things, and eventually it'll just price out, like, you know, more people. And then you'll have an island of just like, I don't know, gentrification. I don't know if that's the right term, but it would be like, you know, just an island of just all expensive neighborhoods.
Yeah, and I think that that's where we're headed. And that's my point, is like, I don't think that this is a matter. Well, that's not my point. This is another point that I've brought up in the past, is I don't think this isn't a bubble, you know, which I've said in the past. It's not a bubble. There's nothing going on with shady mortgages. There's not people being approved for mortgages they can't afford. This is people that are very capable of affording this astronomical cost and coming here to pay it. Yeah. So if they continue to come here, then eventually this could become something like, you know, what do they have down in Miami off the like Palm Beach or something?
Yeah.
Where it's just like Star Island, where it's nothing but stars, mega stars, and the mega rich that can afford to have a house on there. So it's like, you know, if that happens, that's a form of capitalism. And if there's people coming and buying family homes, I don't mind. Even if they're rich and they're coming here, it's like, okay, that's capitalism. You make more money than me. Hopefully we have enough money one day where I could just compete with you for that house. If I can't, then I can't.
Yeah.
So, I'm just hoping that one day, it kind of slows down in a sense of people wanting to come here so much. There has to be kind of a line where it's like, if you're going to pay this much, go live in Brentwood, California.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's got to be a difference.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, there is a lot of people in New York, and we do live most of them live in these densely populated areas. And now they have the ability with these new opportunities, whether it be like remote work or just, you know, opportunities on the island, that they have the ability to expand. And now it's like they can come out here. There's more than enough people over there to fill this up over there because they're living on top of each other. Shout out to Spaz. Spaz says, have you seen a theory about Trump trying to refinance the nation's debt at a lower interest rate? So it's all strategy to tank the interest rates. I need to sell my house for $3.6 million to get the same rate of return as my parents' first home. Whoa.
Wow. And I'm sure that your home is even worth more than what it was when you bought it. That's Spaz? So I want to hear Spaz's take on that. I guarantee it's worth at least 20% more than when he bought it.
Probably. I feel like we bought like at similar times, and he's probably up. I think everybody's up. Like, as long as you bought, like, you know, barring like, you know, buying yesterday, I feel like everybody who bought is up. A lot. The amount of money that like people would have bought who bought super low.
Yeah.
And then wait, is he saying the interest rate? The amount of okay, that's based off of the price of the home. Yeah, dude, everything goes up. On my first house, I didn't double up, but I almost doubled up.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I dropped the ball in buying a home. Like, you know, for people that don't know, like, Berto bought a home, a couple of our other friends bought homes. They just bought them, and I was like, I'm just gonna wait. I want to be more financially secure. I want to make more money. I want to do this. And kind of that, I feel like that idea of just do it and you'll figure it out. You'll find out how to make more. You'll find out, like, it'll even out at some point where you're not being crushed by the cost of your home. And everybody ended up making out well. And now I'm like, damn, now it's even worse than it was, you know, and not for nothing. Shout out. I just got a phone call on my phone from one of my best friends in the world. Guys, my blood brother. If you cut us both open, we'd probably have the same genes, even though he's Polish and German and I'm Puerto Rican. He just called me. This guy don't even know what time and what day the podcast is on. So I just want everybody to know that you could love somebody to death. I love this guy. I'll take a bullet for this dude.
Yeah.
I love him to death. I feel no different about him that he doesn't listen to the podcast. But it's different when somebody is your boy and listen. And, you know, I don't know, for some reason, it's like, it's almost like it's not real. But then one day when I send a jet to pick up him and his family to come and meet us in Vienna, then it'll make sense.
And maybe
You know what I'm saying?
Does he listen to podcasts in general?
I don't think so, actually. It's not his thing. It's a very niche thing.
Yeah, because if you don't listen to podcasts, it's like some people hate talk radio, and we're kind of like talk radio, except there's no music. It's nonstop talking.
Yeah, and there's nobody that could tell us what to do.
Yeah.
Like, we kind of try to abide by YouTube's things, but we get flags. Just so you guys know, we get flagged.
Yeah, the flags come in.
Yeah, they absolutely come in. Whatever. You know, that smoke shop guy was a hero.
Dude, they took that video down.
They took it down immediately. They contacted us during the episode, I'm pretty sure.
Spaz says,
Yeah.
"LOL, my home ain't worth shit. I bought it a year ago, and it didn't really go up much. Only like 2%.
All right, so, you know, the media got me.
But you know what? But I feel like is that higher than average? Like if you look at, like, if you take the median for the past 20 years, is that high?
I mean, for any investment in general, I mean,
2%
in a
annually?
year to get a 2% yield on a rather reasonable figure of an investment, because we're talking 6-figure investment on a house. It's
Yeah.
not $1,200 that you put in a CD.
Yeah, it's not peanuts.
Yeah, it's not. So, you know, so 2% in a year, that's rather, that's kind of, I don't know these stats, but it's probably close to average to what people would make on an investment, somewhere around there. I mean, it's not crazy. You want that, we all want that 100% flip, but it's not realistic.
I wonder if we're seeing a dramatized version of this because of where we live. I think I wonder if New York is going through this worse than anywhere else.
I think it's happening everywhere, and it's all relative to the pay. Because in New York, we get paid a lot. You look at any career, like any career path, any profession, in New York, it's significantly more. I mean, it's a significant percentage more that you get paid here per, you know, dollar amount. But then cost of living all makes sense. If you go to Arkansas and you do what you do in New York, you're going to make half of what you make here.
Yeah, that's why we.
But it'll cost you half for a house.
Yeah.
You know.
Kind of getting to some of the topics. Did you see that roller coaster that went out of control?
What roller coaster?
There was like
You're freaking me out. I know they just tore down King Dakar.
Did they tear down King
Yeah,
Dakar?
just tore it down.
Why?
We'll get back to it.
Why did they tear down King Dakar?
I don't know. Maybe they're going to build something even more psychotic than King Dakar. And that's at Six Flags in Jersey. If anybody's familiar, it's the King Dakar was this crazy roller coaster that went like straight up super fast, and I just hit the mic like a rookie. Goes straight this way and straight up, and it's like the highest, fastest roller coaster or whatever for a certain amount of time. I'm sure they already beat it, but it was. So go ahead. What do you got?
That's crazy. I didn't. I'm like taken aback by that. But there was like one of those rides, the spinny things that just started spinning like uncontrollable.
What spinny thing? Like we're talking
It
about?
was like, dude, my
we
phone's
talking about
on
the
vibrate,
Gravitron?
and it's not the Gravitron.
Not the Gravitron.
It is it's like a stick. Imagine remember those like flowers that they're fake flowers
A
and
pinwheel?
boom, pinwheel.
Okay.
Imagine like a pinwheel.
Okay, Jesus Christ. And it just kept spinning and lost control.
Yeah, dude, like 100 and some people died.
So people threw up on their own faces. That Twitch chat is going crazy, but I can't see it.
Nah, that's
Is that YouTube?
yeah, it's YouTube.
Okay. Damn, so people died on it?
Dude, like a lot of people died.
Died from what? From just like being spun to death?
Guess so.
Holy shit. That shit scrambled their brains.
Yeah, that was brought to me by the
Oh my
other story,
God.
the one I said, which is the even crazier. Well, not crazier than that, but the real story I wanted to talk about, where they were doing that concert in the Dominican Republic and the roof caved in.
Bro, my mom, as soon as I walked in, she's like, y viste eso, lo que pasó con en Santo Domingo con ese club. I'm like, what? Que se cayó el techo
Yeah, it was
encima de toda la gente. I was like, who was performing? That's the first thing I asked. I was like, who was performing?
Dude, how crazy is that? I think 10 people
terrible.
died. 10
It's-
people died.
Bro, that they've been able to count so far. They don't even know because of the rubble. They're trying to clear the rubble out. So they're just going to start discovering. It's like, you know how it happens. It goes by like fatalities, and then they'll just say a bunch of missing people.
Yeah.
And then you start to see a lot of those missing people start to move. They start to migrate to that fatality column, which I hope that's not the case, but shit is rough, dude.
Yeah, super rough. Dude, imagine you're in a brick building and the roof just falls in. And it's crazy because you can see the guys. There's a video. You can't really see the roof caving in. Everything kind of goes black. But you do see them like the moments before the roof caves in. And you can see like the guys who are singing are like looking up. And there's like people in the crowd kind of looking at it. There's one guy who's in the front row and he's like recording it, and he's like using the selfie camera, and he keeps turning the camera to the musicians and like looking. He's having a grand old time.
Damn.
And then all of a sudden, all you hear is like everything. You know, the roof caving in.
Damn, somebody was like, "Oíste esa vaina."
Yeah.
Damn, son. That's messed up, man. They prayers to those people, man. Prayers to those people. I mean, I'm trying to think of that venue in a New York version to just kind of give myself perspective. I'm like, man, imagine watching like Bad Bunny at Terminal 5 and it's just like, like, what do you do, dude?
Especially when, at least over here, it's
Oh,
like,
man.
you know, there's like wood and sheetrock and, you know, all this stuff. That shit is a brick out there.
It's plaster
It
and concrete
is it
with
is
like
rocks and rebar.
With rebar. Yeah, exactly. It's concrete and rebar,
Yeah,
bro.
not enough rebar. That's why that roof probably fell. But a lot of just just cement and rock, rubble.
Damn. Prayers to those people, man. I mean, I'm sure those numbers are going to rise. I was trying to find who it was. It's an artist I'm not very familiar with, to be honest.
I didn't know who it was.
It was an artist. It was like Ruby something. Believe me, my mom was giving me the whole thing.
Oh, she knew who they was?
Oh, she was busting it down.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, she was
Crazy.
Anyway. Yeah, I don't want to go crazy looking this up because I'll start. But yeah, prayers to those people, and yikes. Yikes.
Are you watching anything good right now on Netflix? Did you watch Severance yet?
No.
Dude, you should. It's very good.
Yeah, I didn't watch Severance, and I haven't watched Adolescence, which apparently is, you know, all kinds of stuff all over the internet. People are talking about it.
Which one's Adolescence?
It's on Netflix. It's like a coming of age story of a young boy that gets, something happens, he gets like bullied in school or something like that, or, you know, and then he ends up committing a crime
Yes.
as a result.
I've seen
And it's generating a lot of steam online. They're saying, is this what's happening to young men? Is this the red pill? Is this, you know, it's kind of something related to that and what the cause is for young males being violent. It's kind of something like that. It
Yeah.
seems like that's the attention.
Yeah. You haven't seen it yet, right?
No, I haven't seen it, but I've read about it, and I'm like, damn, I need to watch. I told myself today, I was like, I need to watch this and get a little context, but of course, work got out of control. And
Yeah, after you watch it, we'll talk about it because I have an opinion. But I'm watching this new show on Hulu.
Okay.
Have you heard The American Family?
no, not American Dad, right?
No,
No, so it's not a cartoon.
it's not a cartoon. I believe
Okay.
it's called The American Family. Is it The American? Yes. Is it The American Family? Now you got me. Yes, it is the Good American Family. Did you ever hear about this story? It's based on a true story about a scam where an adoption agency adopts, puts this kid up for adoption, that ends up going to this home, and they say that this kid suffers from like dwarfism and has like these like disabilities, and later on to find out that like this kid is not really a kid, and like this is like this whole scam, and it's really like an adult
So it's an adult pretending they're a kid.
Yeah.
No. Is it a woman?
Yes.
I don't know the full details of the story, but I definitely have. I remember when it happened.
Okay.
It was a little while back, right?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead.
That's what the show is about, and it's like mind-boggling to me. I hate that, like, you kind of know that, like, they're like, this kid's pulling the wool over this family, you know, from the beginning. I wish I would have found out later on. I wish it would have kept it a secret, but I guess being based off of a true story, like, other people knew exactly what this was, and I'm just naive. But man, dude, how crazy is that somebody there's a scam going on where, like, somebody suffers. I guess maybe this person did have dwarfism, or they had some kind of Benjamin Button fucking disease where, you know, they could convince this nice American family that to give up all their money so they could adopt this kid, only to find out that it was like a 32-year-old Russian chick. Like, what? Crazy, dude.
I would love to see the body cam footage when they came to show up, and they're like, "Get up, Stacy," and she's like, "What? But I'm just a kid." And they're like, "Get up!" Like, we know what time it is. Like, Putin's looking for you. Like, you know, there's some people looking for you. Like, your kids back home want to know, like, what's up, you know? And she's like, "I'm just a girl." You know, she probably had little stupid pigtails and shit.
Dude, it's crazy because, like, so now that when I watched the trailer, I started to read a little bit about the actual, like, story. And, like, you watch the show and you see, like, the trailer and stuff like that, and they find out, like, different things. Like, they take the kid to the dentist, and the dentist is like, "Oh, that's interesting. Your 6-year-old has all adult teeth," you know?
Yeah, your 6-year-old has wisdom teeth, and it looks like one's been removed.
Yeah, crazy stuff. It's like, but how crazy of a scam is that? And I wonder what the end game was. That's why I'm watching the show, because I need to know, what was the end game here? What are even the possibilities? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, are they just gonna raise you? Is that what it is? You're gonna start over? Like, what? They're gonna know eventually. You know, you're a woman. Like,
yeah, you're not there's things that happen after you're 7 as a woman.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm
Like, and this was back in the day, so you got to imagine. Now, this is gonna say, when I told my wife this, she looked at me crazy. I was like, but there's a scene where the girl doesn't want to take a shower, and immediately I was like, Bush. The kid didn't want to bathe, and I was like, yep. Big bush. I was like, that's an adult, and she's got a bush, and that's why she won't go in the fucking tub, because 7-year-olds don't have bushes. Dude, I've been watching this show, and that's my entire fucking angle on the show.
Yo, you're probably 100% right. Because, yo, you want to hear something? I just got a text.
Oh,
I just got a text. It says, they only knew she was much older than she seemed because the mom walked in on her in the bathroom and she had a full pubic hair.
oh,
And she was supposed to be like 7.
Yes,
And then she
dude.
says, "Yes, Bush."
I tell you, I'm not that deep into the show.
And she's not political, you know?
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like a thing, dude. It's like, it's going to be, you're not going to fucking pull one of those on me. Like, you're not going to sneak one of these small hookers off of my house. I'm going to know immediately. Like, it's very, very, very interesting.
It's
And-
insane, actually. This is the work of an insane person.
Well, who's crazier, right? Are these guys just naive and they're just good people and they want to do good?
Who's these guys? The family?
The adopters, yeah.
Dude, you expect they did some of their due diligence and verified this kid's age.
How do you
That's what
really
you would
do
think.
that? Like, when they give you the paperwork and all, there's no smell tests. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, dude, you gotta see something's going on. Like, bro, there's if somebody's got some illness that makes them look little, they don't look regular little.
yeah. You know,
Let's call it what it is. They don't look regular little. Stop it.
That's
I would be
motherfucker.
like, what are you doing? Absolutely not. Absolutely. Did you just know 6 answers on Jeopardy? Get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, and it's like, yo, you didn't get the rundown. Like, they didn't tell you, like, everything about this kid before you brought it home. Like, this kid didn't come with a window sticker. Like,
Yeah.
we need to figure out, like, we need some details. As a matter of funny because in the beginning of the show, when they go get the kid's like in a walker and shit like that. And not even 15 minutes after, like she's like running off the walker. And they're like, huh. They're like, I thought she couldn't do that.
See, I would have been jacked up. I would have been like, yo, I got me an X-Men.
Well, no,
I'd be like, yo, I would have been trying to have her move stuff with her mind.
I feel like that might be what the pop's on. The pops likes the girl. The mother, she's warrior ready. You know, women's intuition. I hate to say it, but that shit might be real because the mom she knows something's afoot. It's episode 1. The mom's already looking at her crazy.
Oh yeah, she's like, you're a threat.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny?
100%.
You know, I told my chick.
This coyote shit, bro. This is primal.
I told my chick, I was like, this kid is gonna come out as an adult and try to snag up the pops.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, it would be Woody Allen all over again.
Yes.
Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Married his adopted daughter?
Yeah, crazy.
Psycho.
Oh, man.
Psychopath. But
So I think you should watch the show. That's what.
yeah,
that's what I'm
listen,
getting
I already
to.
watched it.
Well,
but I
no.
need to watch it. We just had a whole talk about it. Now I'm gonna watch it for sure. I gotta get on my Netflix, bro. Netflix, it's one of them things. I'm so spoiled.
This one's on Hulu.
Okay, Hulu, even
And you know
worse.
I hate Hulu.
Yeah, I know you hate Hulu, but I told you Hulu does have some good stuff.
It has
You gotta
this
watch
show.
Handmaid's Tale. Handmaid's Tale is really where it's at.
If I want to take a bath with the toaster, I'll work extra at work. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to watch.
You never
that
seen a Handmaid's Tale?
I watched the first couple episodes. There's only so many times you could see that, work effort that goes through when he gets home, and it's just awkward. It's weird.
Yeah, it is weird for sure. Am I weird?
No,
It's a popular show. I can't be the only weirdo. You know what I mean?
It's not a bad show. It's just not my thing. I like.
Fair enough.
First of all, I like shitty movies.
Which we know that.
Yeah. And I like drama. I like True Blood. You know what I'm saying?
I love True Blood too. All right, yeah. So we like corny stuff that's also cool. All right, fair enough.
Bingo.
So what the hell was I saying? Something about Netflix. I was gonna say something about Netflix. What was I gonna say?
What up, Ray? Shout out to Ray. Speaking of Ray,
Speaking of Ray, what do you
we were
got?
talking the other day because the Nintendo released a bunch of details about the new Switch 2, and the internet is up in arms about it because of the alleged prices of their new games. They're going to be speculating, or it was released that their games are going to be $90 US for a physical copy and $80 for the digital copy. The console's coming out; it'll be around $500, and then there'll be about $450, and then for $500 you could get this bundle package where you get the new Mario game.
I mean, again, what determines a slowdown in price? People got to stop buying it.
Yeah,
That's the only way to slow it down. It's the only way. That's how the market corrects itself in real life without a government instituted correction.
Yeah, here's my thing with this one. So first of all, I agree. I think that this will happen with Nintendo does this. They have such a core audience. I think that if anybody could do it, they can. But I think that their sales are going to suffer from the prices of the games being so high. Not necessarily the console price, but the games prices specifically being high. I think they're going to suffer because of that. They do have a younger audience, and they have that nostalgic audience too. So it's those are like their core people. I feel like those people will buy it no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, they have their set price point, but they'll have to start putting things on sale, offering kind of promotional stuff, maybe further access to other games, maybe one free download. They have to do something marketing wise if people stop buying.
Yeah, that's my thing. I wonder if people will stop buying. They also have their Nintendo subscription where you have to pay to you play online when you already pay for the internet. It's so crazy when consoles do that. I think Xbox does that too. You have to pay for Xbox Live.
Yeah,
you can't just go onto the internet. You have to pay them to allow you on the internet. It's crazy.
I hate that because there's a lot of companies that are moving to that. Even plugins in the music space, they're moving to a subscription only base. Their Waves, which is one of the largest plugin companies that makes compressors, makes EQs, makes reverbs, delays, makes all kinds of effects that you put on music and on vocals and stuff. They've moved to a subscription based platform. You got to pay $30 a month, and if you stop paying, you lose access to the plugin.
Yeah.
So it's you got to pay forever.
So this is a funny thing about the Switch. So when you buy a physical game, sometimes the physical game will just be a key to allow you to download the game onto your system, and then you'll always need this physical copy to play it. So a lot of times when you're buying that physical copy of the game that you're paying an extra $10 for, you can't. The game isn't even on that disc. It's just a download key, and then you use that to enable you to go get it on the internet, download the game onto your console, and then you use that as like an access token to that game.
So you have to use that each time you try to access the game.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a marketing, that's what they have to do. My buddy just lost access to a plugin called Nexus. Right? It's a plugin, it's a VST really, it's a virtual instrument. So you play it. It has all these synthesizer sounds and all this stuff that you do that you can play on it through it, right? Like a virtual instrument. He's had it forever. It has a key that you have to plug into the computer. You have to put it in. It's a USB stick. At the same time, you have to access it from an online platform. Dude, it's like, doesn't work anymore. It's like, oh, you can't access it from this type of drive anymore. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I've had this forever. It's just now at this point, it's like 15 years old.
It's not supported anymore.
Or 10 years old. It's no longer supported. And it's like, what do you do now? What do you do now, dude? It was expensive, dude.
Yeah, that's why like I don't buy physical games. I really just download them. But like that's why things like I was talking to Ray the other day, and I still have my Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I can get a PlayStation 2 or whatever, PlayStation 3. I don't remember, or PlayStation. I don't remember what console it's for, but I can get that console and put that disc in there, and that game will work. Because I have the game. These games, like, if one day they decide in X amount of years that, we're going to take those games, we're going to take, no longer supporting this game. And if you haven't downloaded it, like, you'll never have it.
It's bullshit. Cause I still have an N64. I still have a Sega Dreamcast. I still have a PlayStation 2 and those discs work in there.
Yeah. It's just, you own the game. You could do whatever you want with it. You could sell it to somebody else, so on and so forth. Spat says, I barely have $90 for myself. I don't know how people have them for their child. You'd be surprised, man. People go in for their kids.
Yeah, and while we're talking about crazy cost of things and video games costing a lot of money, have you seen this psychotic behavior going on with the Pokemon cards?
Oh yeah, the people trampling all over each other in Costco's. I was just having this conversation with somebody today.
Dude, they're going crazy over that shit. They're running people over. They're going to these vending machines and they're just buying them all. If you're the first person online, you just buy every single one, clear the machine out while everybody else is behind you online. I'm like, wait until hood people start to get involved in this hobby. I'm like, because I'm telling you right now, they're gonna, it's like these little kids that go up and they're like, oh, I'm just buying everything. Somebody's gonna be like, bro, come up off them Pokemon cards.
It's the resale game. That's what it is. It's people with money who just, the same thing that happened with sneakers, they're just ruining it. I know somebody who I just had a conversation with today that was looking for those, and their kid's birthday is coming up, and they're looking to buy them something, and they're like, yo, this thing was sold out everywhere. And they're like, did you know this was like this? Excuse me. And I said, oh yeah. I said, you haven't seen, exactly what I said to you. I said, you haven't seen people trampling all over people at Costco to get these like kits. Yeah, it's like crazy. But most of the people you see, like those people are just resellers. The people who just go there, they have the money, they'll buy, they'll go to these machines like you're saying, and they'll just get a bunch of packs and just open every single one of them and try to resell, try to hope they get a sick pull and try to get a come up. For every one of those people that is out there doing that shit, though, a lot of them get nothing. Like there's a lot of, you see, if you follow that community, there's a lot of memes of people like putting $2,000 into like packs and getting nothing in return.
Yeah, but I would just sell them as packs. I wouldn't open them. I would sell them as they are, and be like,
you can resell those, but that's the money's in the gamble. Like that's why people they do crazy shit. They weigh them. They weigh the packs.
Yeah, because like the holographics have like different weight ratios.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They have like these like magnetic things where they'll like put it over the card and like it'll beep if there's like I guess a shiny in there. There's companies that they do X-rays.
Wow, dude. Yo, I had binders of this. I had all kinds of
I
shit.
still have my binder.
Bro, I had binders. I think I gave it to like a friend's little brother or something,
I
like
still have my
20 years
binder.
ago.
I still have my base set holographic Charizard.
Dude, I had holographic Charizards. I had holographic Mewtwo's. I had holographic War Turtles. I had holographic Pikachus. I had everything, bro. I had holographic everything, bro. From top down, bro.
Top down,
And then
top.
I gave them away, man. I think I gave them
It's
away to a
alright, man.
friend of mine that I don't even talk to anymore, his little brother.
Well, it probably wasn't worth anything at that time, but yeah, Pokemon is crazy right now, dude. People will pay, thousands upon thousands of dollars. Trading card games, though, in general, have always had like this market because
Yeah, they
Magic the
have a-
Gathering was always crazy when it came to like cards and like reselling and shit like that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm sure that there's still people that play, those kind of. I remember Magic used to be crazy at the Smith Haven Mall. You remember that? You used to go I used to go on. You go on like a Friday night or something. Yo, the entire food court would be packed with the Magic the Gathering people that would sit there and play because it's an in-person thing. And there's still value to that. People want to get on the internet and they want to do whatever and they don't want to get involved in the physical face-to-face. As much as I hate kind of the scalping of the Pokemon cards, I get it because at least it's an in-person thing. You're not selling tokens online. You're not doing some. This is in person. People are going to take these cards and hopefully they're going to do something with them in their hands. They're not just going to, but they'll probably just resell them.
100%, they're
but
gonna
it's
try
like-
to resell it.
But it's like the last bit of tangible kind of hobbies that we have,
And they're
in
ruining
these
it.
lands. Yeah, they're fucking
ruining
it up.
If it is truly one of the last like of these hobbies like this, like because trading card like one of these last like hobbies like that, like trading card games, then they're killing it. The same way people killed sneakers.
Yeah.
Nobody likes sneakers is not what it used to be because it just consists of people buying them for this just to resell and to make money. And that's capitalism. I get it 100%. Like, that's the American way. But it ruins it for the person who really cares about sneakers.
Yeah,
That
you know how bad I want some Concords,
yeah.
but I can't get them because I'm not willing to pay. But they're sneakers, dude, and they're Jordans. They're poorly made, shitty sneakers.
Yeah.
That just means something to me because of where I'm from, and
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna pay $380 for a pair of sneakers that cost 48 cents to make.
Yeah,
no.
or that retailed for $120 and now you want $500 for them.
Yeah, get out of here with that. I'm not with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
That's like the thing now. Like everything's like, limited and never gonna be made again and super expensive. Like if you look at like the price discrepancy between, you could spend $5 on a hat or you could spend, $500,000 on a hat, and they'll both do this. They'll both perform the same action,
Yeah.
or serve the same purpose.
Again, it's what is it, right? It's the buyers that kind of set that threshold.
Yeah, who's willing to buy this? Like, who's willing to? I seen this girl on Instagram or TikTok the other day trying on these inflatable Balenciaga boots, and I'm sure these boots were like $40,000.
I'm sure they were
And
insane.
you gotta it comes with a little pump to inflate them. They look ridiculous. It looks like you're rolling around with like inflated trash bags on your feet.
No.
But I'm sure they were I'm gonna look them up how much they cost.
Well, it's like what are those, like Astro Boy boots or whatever the fuck people wear?
Yeah.
Those red rubber boots that make you walk like you got hoofs. You just walk like this. People buy them. People, you could really get anybody to buy anything. People are so stupid, especially in the West. People are so stupid, dude.
$3,000. So not as bad as I thought. You want to see what they look like?
Yeah, show me that stupid ass shoe. Let me see that. This is
look up Balenciaga inflatable boot.
Bro, who is that? That got to be Cardi. Is that Playboy Cardi?
I don't know who that is.
That looks like Playboy Cardi.
That's some menso that just fucking spent $3,000 on, and if he got it retail, he spent $3,000.
Bro, that looks like Playboy Cardi. Yo, this is some stupid Mega Man shit. This is nonsense,
It's ridiculous.
bro. Absolutely nonsense. That's got to be Playboy Cardi. It has to be.
People love some brands. People love them.
These are Rick Owens boots.
Oh, they're Rick Owens?
Yeah, these are Rick Owens. Learn how to confidently walk in the iconic Rick Owens inflatable boots. But either way, they're Rick Owens. So they're a designer shoe. But that shit is ridiculous. I almost said a different word.
The bubble boot.
Yeah, but either way, it's absurd. It's absurd. I'm sure it was some kind of collab shoe or something like that. But come on, guys. Get rid of the
Dude,
get lost,
clothing.
bro. Come on.
I'm so not stylish when I see some of the things that some of the kids be wearing, dude, or some people be wearing.
Some of it's
I'm so out of it.
I don't want to be in it. Just like I don't want to see, bro. I saw the other day, I saw a Mount Rushmore of rappers.
You didn't know a single person on there.
I knew everybody on there, and I wish I didn't.
Yeah. There's a little take.
Bro, it was people. I said, I can't believe these people are up here. I said, I've outgrown this hip hop shit.
Who was it?
I'm like, bro, it was,
Do you remember?
yeah, it was Thug and NBA Youngboy and people like that. That's who was on there. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, this as a best ever Mount Rushmore.
That's crazy. You know they try to send Thug back to jail?
What happened now? Because they messed up the evidence and they want to bury him. So what happened now?
No, they're just saying that I think he tweeted something that they thought like could have been like taken as violent. So like I think it was the DA or somebody was trying to tell the courts that they should cancel like whatever he currently has, like advanced probation or something like that, whatever he has.
Where's his handler? Where's his PR person? That's like, you don't touch your Twitter. You just beat a RICO case, bro. You go away to the Poconos, and he's like, and the translation is, I don't snowboard.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, but you need to stay inside.
But he doesn't, you haven't really heard or seen much of him. Like, I haven't seen anything of him. I've seen a video of him showing up to Marathon Burger. You know what Marathon Burger is?
Yeah,
Cali?
in Cali. That's Nipsey Hussle's, right?
His
His brother opened
I
it.
think Black Sam's.
Opened it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dope. I want to go there myself.
Oh, dude,
to
they
be
say the
honest.
line is down the street every day.
I love that because it's about the support. It's about the community. It's not about. I'm sure there are burgers just as good, somewhere else. It's not about that. But go ahead.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. I agree. Yes.
Dude, I wanted to talk a little bit about this thing that I saw online about Tinder and dating profiles.
Okay.
So there's been apparently some issues with people that are SA offenders that are being able to continue to utilize dating profiles even after multiple complaints to the dating profiles or to the dating platforms that have said that they shouldn't be on there.
Oh, like the people who meet with them tell the app, like, yo, watch out for this guy.
People have sent complaints in. Like, this guy, after I went on a date with him, he did XYZ to me and he shouldn't be on here.
Ooh.
And then it's like the platform was not only not getting rid of these accounts or banning these people, they were starting to elevate these people because of their careers, in my opinion. Like this one guy that's being cited was a cardiologist. And he was, I think, because of his profile, he was good at doing the online resume profile thing.
Yeah.
And he did it, and he met up with girls, and he was doing terrible stuff, and, he even was accused of drugging their drinks and stuff. And they were days apart, the complaints. And he was still not banned, and he was allowed to continue forward
Yeah, I feel like male
You know?
doctors probably be killing it on those sites.
Bro, all you got to do is put up in there MD.
Yeah,
Bro, you put up in there MD, man, you're automatically because not only do you make money, you're making like a difference and shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're a contributor to the fabric of society.
yeah. Pediatric surgeon.
You know,
MD.
Come on,
Forget
dude.
about
This guy
it,
was a
dude.
cardiologist. He's like, yo, I fix people's hearts so they can continue on. My dad's life was extended by like 30 years because he got a bypass procedure on his heart. And the doctor literally gave me my dad for my entire childhood and the majority of my adult life.
Yeah. I guess that guy deserves 10,
You know?
man.
Yeah,
Not that
so-
he should be taking it. I don't think.
No,
I'm
he
not-
can't.
Now, I don't want you.
That he can't do.
Yeah, don't take this out of context.
Yeah,
I don't think
but-
that he should be taking it.
But my whole point about why I bring this up is I wonder, I'm like, at what point do we stop outsourcing our safety as a people? Right? Like, at what point do we stop outsourcing our own protection from, expecting a company to protect us? Expecting, because think about it. Would you expect Craigslist to provide you safety when you go to meet up with a seller
That's
or
a
a vendor?
great point. It's like Spaz says right here. He goes, how do you validate? I feel like an angry ex-girlfriend would submit false claims if they found me. And I agree with him and you from this perspective, because it's like, how does it, is it like you're saying, is it their responsibility to, to get this guy off the streets? And at the same time, it's like, is it like, who's to say that it's even real, the claims that are coming in, not necessarily about this individual, but about any individual that gets reported?
Yeah, I agree. So, my question becomes, at what point do we start to own our own safety? Because we've bought stuff for this podcast. We bought equipment through Craigslist and stuff. And what did we do? Even as men, what did we do?
Go together.
We went together
Yeah.
to go there. I'm like, yo, we're going there. I'm like, we're going to go, both of us in the car. I'm in the car paying attention. Berto's going and brokering the deal or whatever, but I'm ready to jump out and stomp this guy
Yeah.
if I need to. And we're men. Now imagine you meet a stranger on the internet. Meet some guy on the internet. Even some girl, I'd be putting my hand over my drink as we talk. I'd be buying bottled beer. Bottled. So I want to see you open it in front of me, just like when I went to Mexico.
Yeah.
I don't need some guy coming over here, some dude that's affiliated with God knows who, putting something in my drink because you like my watch.
Facts.
Like, I'm not doing that. So I was buying bottled beer and I asked them, open it at the table.
Yeah.
Don't bring it to me open it at the table. I know what to expect from a beer.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're doing in my mixed drink.
Don't bring it over here with the lime inside, with the napkin tied up top.
Come on, yeah, don't do none of that. I don't want it open, bro. I want the cap. I want to hear it in front of me. So, so I just wonder, I'm like, man, at what point? Because of course, this is terrible. This guy's a dirtbag. He's doing stuff he should not be doing. He's a complete piece of shit. Like, he ended up getting like 100+ years, this cardiologist.
That's what I was gonna ask, is how come this guy just isn't in jail? Like, why are we like blaming the app that essentially assists this guy in committing all his crimes, when we should be talking about, like, why isn't this guy in jail? Like, there's police that are responsible for taking this guy down, not necessarily this application. While I do believe that there should be something in place to kind of, try to mitigate the possibility of things like this happening, I think it's very difficult to expect them to be the gatekeepers for this kind of behavior. We really should worry about the police.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And that's, that becomes the debate, right? It's like, it's a combination of this guy being a complete dirtbag, and where are you reporting it? Mm-hmm. Are you expecting Hinge to do something, or are you making a police report?
Yeah.
You need to contact the police first, contact the cops, and secondarily, the cops will then pursue this person.
Yeah.
You can't complain to Hinge and expect Hinge to do something. Like, they're thinking like, damn, this guy's getting a bunch of hits.
Yeah,
He's
facts.
a cardiologist. He's making us money. Like, a lot of people are viewing his profile. We're getting, $2,000 in revenue monthly from people reviewing this guy's profile.
Yeah, from the ads we're getting on the AdSense on this guy's page.
I mean, imagine it. It's at what point do we stop outsourcing our safety to companies, outsourcing our safety to corporations? Like, come on, guys, let's be smart. Let's get back to, our fathers and brothers and cousins and uncles vetting men that come into your life.
Well, I think that now, especially for the dating scene is so, I'm sure, I don't know it for myself, but I'm sure it's like so crazy in the sense that like I feel like there's so many more crazy people too out now. And you meet them on these apps. You got to pick somebody up, you got to hang out with people. You have to it's like you got to put yourself out there in order to, find love. But at the same time, there's a lot of whack jobs out there.
Yeah, you'd much rather meet a whack job in public somewhere randomly than know, like, this guy's been studying me. We showed up, like, maybe this will just raise some red flags about online dating. What are you doing meeting up with some dude somewhere? And then because he made you chuckle a couple times, he's like, come to my apartment. And you're like, sure. Like, what are we doing?
I think that's when it starts getting sketchy. You're saying this shouldn't put out so quick,
Dude, if you're going to buy something you're going to buy a lawnmower from some guy and he's like, why don't you come over to my place? We'll have a couple beers and watch the game. I'll be like, no. No, dude.
Yeah, but they're looking for love.
Yeah, that's the problem, dude. You got to be smart about this. Involve your male family members.
Yeah.
Involve somebody. Not for nothing. You guys ain't the best at filtering these dudes. Like, you need a dude that's going to be like, I don't like this guy.
Oh, I see what you're saying, and I agree. It was the woman's fault.
That is not at all what I'm saying. Jesus Christ. I'm talking about... Not at all. What I'm talking about is just the idea of, let's not outsource our safety to a company that's making money off of everybody involved in this scenario.
Yeah, I think I see exactly what you're saying, and I do think it's tough. You know what I'm saying? I think it's rough for women to be like, all right, dad, bro, smell this guy real quick. But I do think there's alternatives that kind of, the same result. And I'm sure that this is like, you're just spitballing ideas, so this didn't all come to your head, but like sharing your location, letting people know, like, hey, listen, this is where I'm at. Touching base with somebody, so they know, hey, I'm out. This guy's a creepy McCreepy. Like, get me out of here. Or like, hey, I'm fine. He's a cardiologist.
Bro, I've had this conversation multiple times with people about, you need to just be smart. Don't tag your location. Don't do stuff. I mean, you and I both know that ends in tragedy. When you check in somewhere or you say whatever, it doesn't, from like people we've known personally in our lives to P&B Rock. There are things that not everybody needs to know where you are.
Oh, I meant to like share your location with the men in your life.
Oh, that too. Sharing your location. That too. It's a similar concept.
Yeah.
Sharing locations with people. I mean, you got to be smart. You got to make sure you set a limit or whatever. Like, you can't make that a common thing where you just share your location with people. Dude, they can track you. They know where you are, dude.
Yeah, I don't share my location with anybody, mostly because I'm an Android user. And we don't have that shit built into our phones because we're not weirdos. But I think even if I wasn't an Apple user, I don't know if I'd be sharing. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I guess I have my kid's location.
Yeah, you have your kid, of course. And what's the reason? You want to know where your kid is at all times.
Yeah.
And I just, again, my whole perspective is we cannot continue to outsource our safety, outsource our protection, outsource the responsibility to be self-aware to companies and corporations that are making money off of us using that platform.
Yeah.
So let's just be smarter. Ask people advice, ask your friends, ask your girls.
It's not Uber's fault that you're gaining weight.
Yeah, it's not Uber Eats' fault. No, it's not. Their job is to feed you as much as they can.
Yeah.
That's their job. They make money the more you eat. So they want you to keep eating.
And keep eating.
You know, the more you use, the more you use these dating platforms and the more that you engage on there or whatever, I'm sure that somebody's making money. So just let's get back to just meeting people in person. Go to a bar.
It's hard. I feel like that's harder than ever, dude.
No, but meet people through your friends. Meet people through family. Like if a cousin is like, listen, I know this girl, whatever, I know this guy,
Does that still exist? Is that a thing does that still exist?
It should still exist, but for some reason people have this misconception that they have all these options online. That's the thing, is like the online space makes people perceive that there's this vast pool of people to pick from. And really, it's not that way. You think some girl from Cincinnati or some dude from San Diego you guys are just gonna link up? People are just gonna link up online and they're gonna fly to each other and they're gonna meet. No, that's very rare. These are gonna be all people on dating sites that end up being somewhere within the vicinity of each other. Mm-hmm. And then you meet these people and you're like, oh, you're a weirdo. It's not like, no, meet people in person. Get to know what people are like. Don't go based off a resume. Are you hiring for a job? Yeah. Dude, people look at a resume. They're looking at height. They're looking at hobbies. They're looking at education. They're looking at salary. Is that what you find out about a person on a first date?
Yeah, that is the whole profile thing is interesting, that they look at that, they judge that. Like, oh, I don't like guys that have pictures holding fish.
Yeah, that's a big thing, holding a fish.
Yeah.
I'm like, the guy does something. I'm like, me as a dude, I'm looking at that picture and I'm like, huh? I'm like, that looks like it's like an 11 pounder. Yeah. I'm like, that thing was a 35-minute fight.
Yeah, that was a keeper he's got.
I'm like, that guy's got a keeper, man, and it wasn't even raining that day. That meat's gonna be delicious.
Yeah.
So it's this weird standard, and I'm just like, man, people are so weird. Go and meet people, dude.
Yeah.
Go and find somebody.
We've created a toxic environment, a toxic dating environment, though, with these apps and these expectations.
The connection is so much different when you meet somebody in person. When you meet them in person, you get to know what they're like, and most people, it doesn't jump off right away. You just talk to the person a little bit. You talk to them a little bit. You flirt with them a little bit. You see them, you're like, oh, hey, yeah, some questions, whatever. And then sometimes it starts to develop into something. And when it does that, dude, that beats the shit out of a resume. Yeah. Like, I chose this person.
Well, yeah, I always feel like the best relationships are, started or rooted in friendship.
Yeah, organic. Start when nobody had money. Start when nobody had money. Like, you don't get to wait at the finish line and see me rich. That's crazy. How do I know you ever, how do I know anything about you? You have to fall in love with the potential.
Yeah, that's why it's important to stay broke until you find somebody and then you come up.
Yeah, that's it, man. Don't you dare get a job.
Don't even aspire.
No, not at all, dude. You sleep in until 12. Mm-hmm. You do not get up. You eat ice cream daily. And a gym, don't even worry about a gym, bro.
You could get a gym when you get a wife.
That's it. You get a gym, put a squat rack in the basement.
Yep, 100%.
All right, that's what you got. So, no.
But we're over the hour.
That's crazy.
We're deep over the hour. Not that deep because we started late. Eddie, anything else you want to talk about before we pull out of today?
Did you want to touch on that dude that's bodied that kid on the track meet? That kid named Carmelo Anthony?
What? I don't know
that killed that identical twin. He killed that twin brother. Yeah,
twin on twin?
Yeah. No. All right, so here's the story. There were these I got to get the kid's name. You don't know about this at all?
No.
Okay.
Carmelo Anthony?
Yeah, that's a hell of a name, huh? So there was this young man by the name of Carmelo Anthony, 17 years old. And he's charged in the death of Austin Metcalf, also 17 years old. So they were athletes. Metcalf was a football player. Carmelo Anthony played sports. I'm not sure exactly what he played. But evidently there was a scenario where this was in Texas, where both of them were at a track meet and there was a rain delay. So they ended up under the same tent. Carmelo Anthony was from an opposing team. So this kid, Metcalf, Austin Metcalf, onlookers say that he said, you can't be under here, you need to go, or whatever. So Carmelo Anthony said, no, like, touch me and see what happens, and picked up his backpack. Onlookers are saying that Austin Metcalf, then somehow tried to physically remove him. So I don't know what he tried to do. I don't know if he picked him up. I don't know if they started fighting. I don't know. But it resulted in that kid, Carmelo Anthony, pulling a knife out of his bag and stabbing him right in the heart. And he killed him. He died in his twin brother's arms. His twin brother was there. And yeah. So there's a lot of different perspectives here. My initial perspective is that kid is a complete and total dirtbag and he needs to be put under the jail. But then people are saying that, you know, Texas is a stand your ground law with both knives and guns. And there's no clear understanding of exactly what happened between the two teams. I don't know if somebody was whooping somebody. I don't know if somebody started. I don't know if it was an even fight. I don't know what it is. I don't know the situation. My initial reaction was, that's crazy. You brought a knife to a school sporting event. That's already problematic to me.
Yeah, you're a student.
You're a student, dude. You're 17 years old. You're a little shit. There's no reason that you should have that. But then I think about where we grew up. And I'm like, would I have had a knife potentially at a situation like that? You never know. Sometimes it gets crazy at these kind of things. So, you know, you have to start to think about this. But he ended up poking his kid and just one time and ran away. And he happened to have stuck him in the heart.
That's crazy.
You know, so who even knows if murder was the intent?
Yeah.
You know, you don't know. He stuck him once and ran off. It's not like he stuck him 14 times. But I'm just like, this is tragic, dude.
Man,
it's tragic all around for both kids. They both lost their lives.
Yeah.
One passed away tragically, and the other one is going to probably rot in jail. You know, so, and they're 17 years old, both of them, bro. And they're apparently both 4.0 straight A students and athletes.
Wow.
Both of them. So it's like, it's insane, you know? So I don't really know because there are still details. My initial reaction was I was bugging out. Like, this dude is a dirtbag. He needs to be under the jail. They should probably, you know, giving me electric chair on pay-per-view. But then, you know, once you start to find out more information, because initially the report's never completely clear.
Yeah.
You know, there's always missing details.
100%.
And because everybody was saying he's under the 10, he was in their area, but nobody said it was a rain delay initially.
Yeah.
Nobody said it was a rain delay. There was a rain delay. It's pouring rain. You try to find cover as a human being anywhere. You know, and apparently he ended up under another team's tent.
Damn.
And then that's where this kind of confrontation took place. So I don't know. I do not know. Initially, I said that Carmelo Anthony needs to be incarcerated for life. And then I'm like, they're both stupid kids.
Yeah.
They're both stupid kids. We all did crazy stuff at 17 years old.
You know what? No matter what, I think it's like he committed
Like someone
this crime.
lost their lives.
Yeah, it's like he's got to pay for that. You know, whether yeah. And, you know, I don't think this kid, it wasn't like they were both knife fighting.
Yeah, it's not like they, you know, it wasn't like, you know,
it wasn't that fucking, Puerto Rican standoff.
Yeah, what's that movie? I mean, that play? What is it?
Hamlet?
No, when they grab each other, it's got
West Side Story?
West Side Story, exactly. And they like hold arms and they dance around and just try to poke each other.
Yeah, no.
So that was crazy. They used to get busy back in the day.
Yeah.
You had to hold hands and each one of you has a knife and you can't let go.
And
You guys just gotta be within an arm's length and see who's better at stabbing. Bro, get out of here, dude.
Crazy.
I'd way rather just like shit on you on Instagram.
Yeah, 100%. I'd rather dunk on you in the comments.
Yeah.
What a crazy story.
Yeah, it's terrible,
that kid's
dude.
going to jail, and unfortunately, no matter what the situation, if he does go to jail, he kind of deserves it.
Bro, the crazy
killed
thing
somebody.
is
He
they've
killed his
already
twins, too.
raised over 200 racks in money for his lawyers
For his
online.
defense?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's going to go to waste. That kid's going to go to jail. He killed a twin. He should get time and a half.
Bro, the other twin is
You know
going to
how-
feel that forever, dude.
Yeah, you know how rare that is?
Bro,
They should save those organs for that twin, though.
he probably felt it like a voodoo doll.
That's why it ran over.
You know?
Can they, yeah. They could, though, right? They could.
They could what? Like save
kid's-
his organs?
Yeah.
No.
For the twin?
No, you can't just freeze them joints. They're not like a fillet from a nice butcher. You can't just.
Oh, you can't hold them for 30 years from now?
No, you can't do that.
Not, if you're
It's-
getting real cold. What about deep freezer?
No, you can't. Nah, man. It's not like Walt Disney. You can't just microwave that thing and have it work.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's not the
Either
same.
way, it's not the right way of thinking. It's very insensitive of me. I apologize.
No, it's I mean, listen,
but-
man, it's that kind of economy right now. I'm putting my New York strips, USDA Prime in a freezer.
Yeah, if you got your deal, if you get a deal,
If you get a deal, you got to do
if
it.
they're taking it as serious as I am.
Yeah.
Have you
So-
ever seen that meme where the girlfriend's talking to him and she's like, you spent like $1,000 on Pokemon cards, and he's like, yeah, and she's like, is everybody doing this? I don't know any, but nobody's doing this. He goes, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. If they're taking it as serious as I am, they are. They should be. If they're taking it as serious as I am, they should be.
No, so yeah. I don't know if they could. I don't think they can freeze them for him, but
Yeah, but
somebody's gonna get him.
Somebody's gonna get him.
Somebody's
This guy
gonna get
deserves to go to jail. I don't really see any other perspective. I don't see how anybody can see any other perspective because he killed this kid.
Well, the problem becomes like a polarizing thing because the one that stabbed him is black and the one that got stabbed is white. So of course the internet pulls this race thing in that this kid was being bullied. The other one is like, oh, this guy he shouldn't have done. So there's
He stabbed this kid.
he stabbed him. He stuck him at a school event.
He's 17 years old. When I was in middle school, somebody brought a knife to school. He got expelled.
Yeah,
there
dude.
wasn't any other questions. They didn't ask him how he felt about it. They didn't care if he was depressed or if he felt like he was a girl. They just expelled him. No questions asked.
Yeah.
You can't bring a knife to school.
Facts.
You can't bring a knife to a track meet, and you can't stab people. You definitely can't stab twins. They're even rarer than regular people.
Yeah, you can't stab somebody because you can't defend a single. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You
yeah.
got to sprawl, bro. You got to sprawl, and if you can't sprawl, you just take the L, bro. What happened to fighting? What
Doesn't
happened to people
exist,
just
dude.
squaring up and scrapping, bro? I remember that, I had fights growing up. I went to a kid's house and fought him, and even when he like DDT'd me on the street, he had me in like a, at the time I didn't know to fight the hands. You know what I'm saying? So he had me in like this like front face lock. And fell back on the street, dropped me on the street, and then my friends broke it up. But then we stood up and fought again. It was like there was no crazy kind of, nobody. We didn't pull knives on
Yeah, but
each other.
everything
We
is
didn't.
way
We
more
just used to
extreme.
scrap. We just used to scrap, bro.
Doesn't exist anymore. Everything's way more extreme now. This kid stabbed this kid. And kids were stabbing kids back in the day, but I feel like kids are stabbing kids a lot more.
Yeah, it's the stabbing.
or the level of the amount of this is happening a lot more frequently than in the past. It's sad either way. It is sad for both kids, but the honest truth is, like, no matter what color any of the kids are, like, he killed this kid.
Yeah, and it's sad because I feel like there's a kind of an underlying narrative trying to be pushed by media, trying to be pushed by social media networks, trying to kind of bump up the people that are making this a race thing. And I'm like, this is not a race thing. This is a kid making a bad decision and then another kid making a worse decision, stabbing him. Like, should have left that kid alone, whatever, you're in the wrong tent, whatever. And then, if it becomes something more, let it be something more, but don't pull a weapon.
Yeah, crazy.
Like, how bad was he whooping you that you had to pull a weapon? Like, I would only, anticipate somebody pulling a weapon if they're really getting worked. Like, if you have no chance to win on a judge's scorecards, you pull a joint. You know what I'm saying?
If there's more than one guys and you feel like these guys are going to kill you and it's your only way out.
Yeah, if it's your only way out, if somebody's trying to run you over or something like that.
I seen two old dudes in a video fighting at a Walmart. One of them had the hammer on him and they just kept scrapping and he didn't even almost grab it.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, what happened to the good old fisticuffs? Nobody could scrap anymore. Nobody could defend a single. Nobody could throw a decent lead right hand. Like, can we get back to that? Can we skip steal the bacon in gym class? And can we put like boxing?
Even these kids that didn't have any training, they're still just scrap. Because when I was young, none of these kids knew how to fight. They would just
Yeah,
scrap.
but you would try.
Yeah, they
you
just
would
try.
scrap. You would think in your mind you could. When nobody could. When somebody can't scrap when they do this kind of shit.
Yeah.
When they start doing this shit, you already know. When they're like, "Yo, see me," I'm like, "Oh man, you're going to sleep. Like you're going to sleep, bro." So we still had those dudes, and those guys used to get respect. I mean, if you scrapped back in the day, you got respect whether you won or you lost.
Yeah.
Even if they'd be like, "Oh, you got smoked." You got respect for the attempt. It was like a dojo, like it was like a spar, like a live spar, like whether it's a jiu-jitsu academy or a boxing gym, it was a live spar. Everybody has respect at the end.
Crazy.
That's crazy, but I could keep talking about this all night. Let's get us out of here, man.
Take us
We're over
outta
the
here.
hour. We're over the hour. It's the Master and None Podcast, episode 244. It's your boy Justin and the homie Berto. And we appreciate everybody that was live in the chat. Everybody spaz. Everyone spaz. Bubby, we got you, bro. Claudio, what's up? So thank you to everybody that joined in. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on your way out. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you never miss a single live episode or a video when we post it. And we're going to have more content coming for you guys. We got some really big guests coming up. So make sure you guys hit that notification bell so that you get a notification every time we go live with one of these dope guests. And Berto, let them know if they don't find us on their favorite audio podcast listening platform, what they could do.
Join the Discord and harass us until we place the podcast on your obscure podcast listening platform. I think you should join the Discord anyways. A lot of good conversations on there. Topic suggestions. Damn, I think we missed one. I think that was the topic suggestion that was on there that we missed today.
What, do you want to go to the Discord and check it? Because I know Spaz said he had something on Discord if we run out. And thank you for the congratulations on the beer sound effect. I know when I made that, I know, bro. Come on, man. I'm like that guy from Police Academy.
Oh, I did see this. I gotta go. But the dire wolf, you see they recreated it.
I saw The Scientist was on Joe Rogan, but I didn't watch it.
Dude, they got the puppies.
Dude, that's crazy. Like you talking about dire wolf like Ghost and shit from Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
No, come on, bro. They can't be doing that shit. That shit's gonna start eating babies.
Woolly mammoth's next. I said it.
Come on, bro. The woolly mammoth, bro. Stop.
Yeah. They're bringing it back. They say that bringing back these animals could give a rebalance to our ecosystem.
Yeah, they think that until there's a T-Rex ripping through like William Floyd High School or something like that.
Yeah, you can't bring them back one by one either. If you could bring them all back at the same time, maybe you could rebalance whatever you're looking to rebalance. But you can't just bring back the dire wolf and then all of a sudden, I don't know. And then the woolly mammoth and then what's the saber-tooth tigers after that?
Yeah,
I got this whole thing figured out. But that's it, man.
Dude, you can't. But yeah. Master and None Podcast, episode 245. Thank you. 244, excuse me.
244.
Thank you guys so much. And thank you for everybody, the recent subscribers. Thank you to everybody from the beginning. Thank you to all of our subscribers since then. We appreciate you guys. And
Not as much as we appreciate the first guys, though. We appreciate you guys the most.
yeah.
So, the people who are here now, if you want to get appreciated, after new people come in, you'll be appreciated even more than those news people, but never as much as the people who've been here from the beginning.
That's right. But we thank you guys anyway. Master and None Podcast.
Is that fucked up of me to say?
Oye,